So if making this video is my mission, then just like 007, I made it just barely in the nick of time. For no one to see it. Mission accomplished.
Bond. James Bond.
The official US release date of the 25th James Bond film No Time to Die is tomorrow. On my birthday, no less, and I can think of no better birthday gift than a brand new Bond film. Now, unfortunately, I have a big event that I have to attend and work actually on the day and the day after, and so I have to wait a couple of extra days to get to see the film. Even so, I already know it's going to be a very memorable birthday for me. So if making this video is my mission, then just like 007, I made it just barely in the nick of time. For no one to see it. Mission accomplished. Considering what a big moment this is for Bond and for me, I couldn't really let it go by without at least making a small video in anticipation. So this will be a shorter format. I'm putting a lot less thought into this. You're getting half monk, half hitman, half baked.
Of all the fouled-up, half-witted operation.
Here are the top 5 things that I'm hoping for with No Time to Die. I was thinking about doing the top 007 things that I'm hoping for, but really that would require just too much thought, and then you'd get a fully baked video instead of a half-baked video, and nobody likes my baking.
Et voila, quiche de cabinet.
Number 5. I hope that No Time to Die doesn't get too woke. Now this is a big political hole that I'd rather not step in, but there's been a lot of talk about it, and so I feel like I can't completely ignore it. We've heard a lot of chatter about, oh, they're replacing James Bond with a black woman, and, considering the kind of the cultural climate, a lot of media seems to be going that way, and I really hope that they can manage to avoid that with this film. I really don't have anything against adding strong female characters. The Bond franchise is full of strong female characters, and of course, I'm a huge fan of more representation on film. I simply find that when a cultural agenda takes priority in the making of a film, it tends to water down the story. And I'm really hoping that Daniel Craig's last outing can provide us with a really interesting and powerful story to finish off his run as James Bond. Storytellers need the freedom to follow a story wherever it may lead, whether or not it aligns with a prevailing cultural opinion. When you try to please too many people, you're bound to water down your story. Incidentally, this is also true of personal growth. When you allow a lot of outside voices to influence who you become and how you behave, you're bound to become a watered down person, just as that would make for a watered down film. Of course, you have to have some influences, but trying to make everyone happy and listening to too many voices will just result in a character that is pulled in too many different directions. Seek truth in your life, even if it goes against the grain. 4. I'm really hoping that No Time to Die can redeem Spectre a little bit. I wasn't very happy with the way Spectre ended. It really smacked of desperation to me, making Blofeld and Bond brothers. I felt like were trying to capitalize on the cinematic universe trend and just make everything connect. And that's never been a great formula for Bond films. I think they work better when they are kind of independent, standalone stories. A few times we've seen connective tissue, like between Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, and I felt like that happened rather organically, whereas Spectre was just kind of coming in and trying to say, okay, well, we've got this story arc that already exists. Let's force connections where none really existed before, and it wound up feeling kind of cheap and desperate to me. Skyfall really could have existed completely as its own film until Spectre came along. So considering that a lot of these characters are the same characters from Spectre, they're carrying over Blofeld, they're carrying over Madeline Swan, it really seems like there's a strong indication that they might be trying to do that again. Now, I also see some opportunities here to really redeem Spectre, to kind of take those desperate threads that they had at the end of the last film and spin them into something new and different and unique. And I think that will take a very talented team of writers, but I do think that they have a talented team of writers working on this film. So I'm really hoping that this film can kind of redeem the ending of Spectre and give it a little bit more of a unique flavor. Number 3, I'm really hoping that No Time to Die doesn't rehash more characters from the past. Speaking of Spectre, we just saw them do that with Blofeld. They regained the rights to use that character in the films, and so they just kind of jumped at the chance, and I can understand why, but they did it under the guise of introducing him as somebody else, and then kind of spinning that for the audience as, oh no, this is actually Blofeld, and that didn't really work for me either. Now, with the title of this film, No Time to Die, there's been a lot of speculation that Rami Malek's Safin character is actually Dr. No, and I really hope that they don't do that for a couple of reasons. I think, first and foremost, they just reintroduced another old character, and doing that again would just kind of be a retread of what they literally just did one film ago. But secondly, and more importantly, I think it robs Rami Malek, who's a great actor, of a chance to create a new and different character that's all his own, instead of trying to play off of or be compared to the Dr. No character played by Joseph Weissman in the first film. Number 2, I really hope they don't kill Bond. And that's not just because I'm a Bond fan and I don't want to see my hero die. I think there's a lot more to it than that. It's well known that this is going to be Daniel Craig's last turn as James Bond, and that's a little bit unprecedented in this franchise. A couple of the other actors kind of knew that it would be their last film when they made it, Connery and Moore specifically, but they didn't really go into it with kind of this swan song mentality. They were just making another Bond story. And so I think the temptation is really strong for them to kill off Bond and tell a complete story. You know, this is Bond's end, to give us the once and for all final definitive James Bond is dead storyline. We've seen him die multiple times and he always comes back to life somehow.
Well, everybody needs a hobby.
So what's yours?
Resurrection.
So I think the temptation is pretty strong to tell that final story. Yes, I think there's a way to do that story well, but considering this is the 25th film and we're coming up on the 60th anniversary of the franchise, I just think it's the wrong time to do that. I think now is the time to reinforce Bond's presence in our culture and to celebrate him and to honor his legacy, rather than symbolically killing him off and allowing the character to die. That's no way to go into your 25th film in the 60th anniversary during a time when things couldn't really be more polarized and contentious. I would really love to see that this character doesn't just live on metaphorically in perpetuity through media, but that he actually is given a chance to live on literally over the course of the film that they're making. Which leads me directly into the number one thing that I'm hoping No Time to Die gives me. If I get nothing else off of this list, if they dash all of my hopes for the character and for the story, there's really just one thing that I need to see. So thanks again for watching. Chances are you've probably already seen the films, but in case you haven't, in case you catch this before you see the film, let me know in the comments, if you agree with my hopes for the film, what you're hoping for the film. And since most of you will probably already have seen the film before you see this video, let me know if you think that my hopes were reasonable, if you think that the film lived up to the hopes that you had for it. And of course, drop a like on the video, subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and au revoir. I have the oddest feeling we'll be seeing one another again sometime.